Hey everybody, welcome back to Andertons TV. I am at Camden Underworld as none other than John 5 is playing here tonight, so welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for giving up some time. Now, I obviously want to nerd out, talk about Telecasters, and we're going to hopefully get a look at your stage setup and stuff like that. Forgive me if I find you quite an enigma or a paradox really in the guitar world and I wonder, if you could do it all again, would you have rather been in Roy Clark's band or that kind of Merle Haggard's band, or would you have gone, I'd rather be in Metallica? Or say like, what would be what's John 5's like ultimate relived life?
I think, I'm so happy and content with the way I've gone because I think I just love music so much. Not just a certain genre of music, but I just love music as a whole so much. To be in like a cool country band like Roy Clark or Willie Nelson back in the 70s would have been rad. Of course, I was too young. But here's the thing. Who knows what the future will bring? Maybe I'll be in a rad, cool country band, if they'll have me. But I just am so happy and content doing what I'm doing. It's just been such a great run and I feel like, I'll never stop. I'll never retire. I really won't. I never will retire. I'll never stop touring, never stop recording. But I would love to put out, I'm going to put out a record of all the country songs I've done. And there's so many country instrumental songs. So I'm going to definitely do that. So it's just been an incredible life and run.
Yeah, I mean, for people that perhaps aren't familiar, it's some CV. I looked at doing the David Lee Roth thing, the Rob Halford thing I was listening to yesterday. It's some really cool stuff, and then Manson and Motley Crue and Rob Zombie. I mean, it's like that's a killer career.
Yeah.
But I think it does need a monster country gig just to sort of.
You think about it, and now that I'm getting a little longer in the tooth, maybe that's when you go to the cool country.
Grand Opry.
I don't know if I can grow a big beard or anything like that. I don't know if I have that kind of...
Would you feel under pressure to change the image to sort of fit the country thing?
This doesn't fit the country thing?
I mean, I think you look super cool, but it does need maybe some cowboy boots and a Stetson, doesn't it?
It's funny because I do... I have been known to wear a cowboy hat here and again, but I just think it looks so cool. But like those country guys in the 70s looked so cool, who knows what life will bring. So it's exciting.
I mean, you and I were born pretty similar time. I think we grew up in an era where our dads had cool record collections and also tons of cool music was still kind of coming out. So I think we almost got like best of both worlds of that sort of 70s, 80s kind of growing up kind of experience. But what was it, when did you first get the bug for guitar, and who can you sort of pinpoint as feeling like that was it?
I remember my father would listen to Chet Atkins and Roy Clark and that kind of stuff. And I had older sisters who loved the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and things like that. But it was a time when I loved TV, just like any kid loves TV. But there was a show called Hee Haw in America, and it was like a variety show. And there was a kid on there, Jimmy Henley, and he was the banjo champion of 1976. And I remember watching it. He was playing with Roy Clark. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. And that's what made me want to play guitar. Because I knew banjo, but I knew guitar, but I thought, guitar was cooler even back then at such a young age.
I think we can all agree that's correct.
And but I just was really, really obsessed with it. And I got an acoustic guitar, but I wanted an electric guitar. And I loved Hee Haw because they all played, guitar and things. Because you couldn't find that much music on TV, or I couldn't. We only had a few channels, as we remember. But I remember I wanted an electric guitar, and all the guitars they played were Telecasters. So I thought all electric guitars were shaped like that. So that's why I wanted a Telecaster, and that's why I still play one today.
Well, we have to talk about your obsession with Telecasters, and hopefully we'll get a look at your stage rig as well. When did the bug for something heavier and something a bit more, I don't know, progressive or industrial kind of come in? Because that seems to be, for large parts of your career, that's been the focus of certainly the live stuff and maybe your own solo stuff as well.
I had epiphanies alter my life, and I remember vividly, I think it was Jimi Hendrix, what really got me into like rock. I was like, wow, I just loved it. And then Jimi Hendrix moved to Van Halen, and Van Halen moved to Randy Rhoads, and Randy Rhoads moved to Yngwie Malmsteen and Paul Gilbert, and all this stuff. So there's always been epiphanies, and I love being inspired more than anything. It's my favorite, and I think it's so important in life to be inspired as well, because something that all of us experienced as a kid is still with us today. And that's incredible. How crazy is that? Like what I saw when I was 6 years old, all I do is play guitar. That's all I do. I was just playing backstage. And I play all day into the night. It's just, that thing just really changed my whole life.
And it's quite beautiful, that is. I mean, and I think I can understand there's guitar players that get to the level that you're at that really dedicate the time. But I think even for most guitar players, they can find that 20 minutes of precious time that they get with the guitar 100%. Is just, it's such a therapeutic, wonderful thing to do. I think perhaps you could apply that to most instruments, but the guitar seems to be something just extra transcendental, in the way it takes you away from everything that's going on.
I really believe that as well. I had to go to therapy for some issues, and we've all gone to therapists before, and sometimes we don't get good ones, sometimes we do, but I got this great therapist, and he was so smart. He goes, you need something to occupy your brain. What do you do? And I said, well, I play guitar. And he goes, well, here's what I want you to do. Take the guitar and take it to the absolute level, the next level. Like, play the most complicated thing you can learn and practice it and practice it and master it. And once you did that, master something else, master something else. And this was at a young age. And I thought that was so smart because it just occupied my brain so much. So if someone comes home from work and just for like 20 minutes, like you were saying, someone that's not really obsessed with guitar that much, but you could just put it on, play for 20 minutes. It is such a therapeutic instrument.
So let's talk about the Telecaster. I mean, we don't have enough time. By the way, if you're ever back in England and you want to come and visit our studios, and we'll do a deep dive, because I would love to talk about stories from, David Lee Roth's band and Marilyn Manson and I mean, it's wild, right? But we don't have the time. And congrats again on obviously the Motley Crue gig.
Thank you.
I mean, sounds like.
Thank you. It's funny because we with Motley Crue, we played this place.
Really?
And then the next day we played Wembley Stadium.
So you've done the whole Hello Wembley.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Bucket list.
From here, we played with Motley, and then just 24 hours later we played at Wembley Stadium. So it was funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
They must have had to keep this gig like hyper secret, or so like a super like fan club thing.
Yeah,
this must have been wild.
It was incredible.
Man, I can't remember. It'd be like being right back at the beginning again, wouldn't it? Oh, it's amazing. Well, look, come on. Telecasters. Such a simple yet effective tool would you like to? This isn't your number one, is this number two, or what would you say this is?
My number one is the Ghost, but this is like, it's, I mean, it's my number one as well, but this is such a, it's like, you know what it is? It's like when a car came out in 1950 or 51, but now you have a car that comes out in 2026. So this is like the 2026, like Telecaster, but I still love and play all the time my 1950, 51, Telecasters. But it's just, that's the thing. Think about this. This is so interesting. What things can you still use today from 1950?
Nothing.
It's unbelievable. Maybe a hammer.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like maybe a pen. Maybe the pen isn't as great as a pen today, but a Telecaster from 1950 is incredible. You don't want to change it. And they're so, just try driving a car from 1950. It'd probably be pretty impossible and really hard to do.
I think there's we ask that question all the time. I think, how did, Leo and Ted McCarthy and the guys in and around that time just get it so right? And you're right. There's very little. Perhaps I get sort of nostalgic sometimes about watches and think, they were pretty in 1950 and they still tell the time now. But I kind of agree with you. Nothing really like the Telecaster or the Strat or Les Paul has. It's like people are just like, please don't change anything about how they were designed. It's like,
isn't it funny?
It's crazy.
It really is. I don't know if it's just us or our age, but like seeing a Telecaster or a Strat or anything like that, you're like, oh my God, it just looks so cool. But I guess the same could be said like a kid talking about a bike.
Maybe.
Because
choppers still look cool, right? That was a sort of, not hugely dissimilar era.
But it's just what all of us go crazy for,
I like what on your signature model and this kind of thing, there are some nods towards obviously some slightly more modern features. I'd be interested to, could you do a John 5 gig with a no-caster?
Absolutely.
You could?
Absolutely. I would have to get a pickup that didn't feed back because of the distortion, but 1,000%. The reason I don't is because I don't want to change the originality of it.
Right.
And I try to keep my old Teles as original as possible.
Are you a crazy Tele collector?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Is it bad? Like how bad?
One from every year. Yeah. Yeah. So
that's quite bad.
I have a terrible collective soul. But it's good,
Where's the high point then? I know I've got a feeling of where I think the high point in the Tele thing is, but for you, what's the year where the secret sauce just had it all going on?
I would say probably 59, 60, like when the Telecaster Custom came out with the double binding and all that stuff. And those necks were just incredible. Those Telecaster Customs were incredible. I loved them. But every year I have such an appreciation. Every year, like something really came out, of course the black guards, then the white guards, it just goes on and on and on. And then the late 50s with Telecaster Customs, and then the thin lines and, all the custom colors and the Smuggler Tele and then the Deluxe, all that. I mean, just every year there was something really cool to me.
Did you do the birth year thing? Have you managed to find like a 1970 Tele and that's the...
It's funny. In 1970, they didn't produce that many Telecasters because they produced so many in 68, 69. So there's not that many from 1970, but I did, of course I have one. but you'll find a ton of 68, 69s, 67s, things like that. But in 70, they didn't do that many because they made so many.
I always think this is, we live in a world now where I walk into our music store and, you'll just see 100 Telecasters on the wall and it doesn't feel that weird. Like, you just can't imagine going back to the 50s or, our store was my granddad opened in the 60s, and he was like, if we had a Fender Telecaster in 1965, people would drive for miles around to see
just
the
to
one
look at
guitar that you had, which is just a crazy kind of vibe.
I mean, even in America and like in California, there wasn't a ton of Telecasters in music stores. There were just a few. I remember going to music stores and they would have just a couple. But now it's unbelievable.
Well, we are holding you on a huge pedestal here because I feel, and most of my colleagues do, that the Telecaster that's your badge of honor. That's when if you can do everything that you need to do on a Telecaster, you know that you're at the top of your game, because it's not, you haven't got the in-between sound for a bit of difference, or you haven't got the trem set. Well, you obviously have got trem on that, but you haven't got the trems, and you haven't got the seventh string. It's like you've just got two pieces of wood bolted together that, and everything you want to do needs to come from these. It's like, go.
Because I just started getting, the reason I have the Floyd on there is because when I joined Motley Crue, because Mick Mars used a Floyd Rose so much, but none of my guitars had Floyd Rose. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't have any Floyd Rose on any of my guitars, so that's why, I had to put one on there. But people love it. But yeah, it's, of course they call it the plank, and it is it's not an easy guitar to play. So, but I wouldn't play anything else. I just absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, look, would you mind taking us over to the stage now? And we can have, is your amp and pedal board out tonight?
It's almost comical, my setup. And I wanted to talk to you about this. It's so amateur, like it's so primitive. The reason why, and you were talking about this before, I just want to be able to go anywhere and be able to play a show. So I just have rented amps, I have a few pedals, and a couple guitars. Because I never want to depend on, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, I gotta have this rack mount, I gotta have it. I want to be able to like play a show with one pedal, one guitar, and one amp and a cord, and that's it. So I try to keep it so simple, because there was a time, and I use regular picks. I just want to keep it so simple where I don't want to depend on anything. So when you see it, you're like, okay, is this it? So I feel bad for like my tech is probably like, I pay him so much, but he's probably like, this is it? It's like going, like if you have a housekeeper and going to clean a house and the house is clean already, it's like the easiest job,
How, when if you've got one of the big tours and there's iconic albums in that band's back catalogue, is that a different kind of setup where you feel like I've got to try and have some sort of digital solution so I can completely emulate how the guitar sounded on the track? Or are you still going, you know what, I've got my little amp and my tube screamer and don't worry about it? Which one is it?
Such a great question. When you listen to rock albums, at the end of the day, it's a distorted guitar.
I'm so pleased you said that.
It's just a distorted guitar. That's all it is. On a country gig, it's just a clean sound, maybe some chorus, maybe some delay, which I had that with all little stomp boxes. At the end of the day, it's a clean guitar sound, maybe a chorus, delay. With rock, it's a distorted, maybe a wah here and there, but that's about it.
Crazy. I mean, look, I'm not going to sort of say anybody's right or wrong. That's what I love about music. It's just if it's working for you. But it does amaze me how many, like you can have a wedding band, for example, and they're doing their 25 songs, whatever. And every single song, they've programmed the patch on their digital thing to be, and you're just like, I'm a bit like, man, there's a clean sound and an overdrive sound. Play the right chords, you'll be fine. But
it's how it is played. And if you have someone like, I don't know, anybody who really knows how to execute that song, they're going to be like, wow, that's how, let's say Brian May. Okay. Brian May, if Brian May comes and plays a Queen song and he's, just has like a combo with a distortion, it's going to sound exactly like Queen because of how he's executing it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Same thing with Eddie Van Halen. He could play a Van Halen show with a combo because it's the way he executes it. Nothing is going to sound closer than that. That's what I think.
I think you're right. And actually, I think the reason shops like ours exists is entirely because most of us know that we're never going to achieve execution at that level. So we surround ourselves with as much kit as we can to get as close as we can. But what you're doing is you put the hard graft in to get to the level, and then you go that, and that's what Eddie Van Halen does, and that's what Brian May's done. And they just do it right. But
yeah, like you put Yngwie, and if Yngwie he could play this guitar through a combo and it would sound exactly like Yngwie. Or, the kid could be like, oh, I gotta have the Yngwie Malmsteen model with the scalloped neck and stuff like that. But it's just how it is executed. Well,
I think that's good advice. So it's bad advice for my store. Obviously, it's very buy less gear and practice more. Obviously, we're in the practice less, buy more gear camp.
Yeah, right. Just get the right gear. What you love, true.
Shall we? Come on, let's go and have a look at your rig on stage.
Thank you.
So we're on stage. We've switched over to number one. You guys are probably going to be more familiar with this. It's John's kind of signature Fender Tele. I love this, man. This is like proper good sounding valve amplifier. The OG of pedal brands like this. Yeah. Just some Boss pedals. But tell us on the Tele. We were just chatting about when you got into using the kill switch thing. When can you remember you first put a kill switch on the guitar?
I think it was Buckethead. That kind of cool stuff,
Yes, man.
So, I love using that as an instrument, kind of like the.
It's really, really cool. Now, in a world where guitar players are saying, well, I just, I don't want to bring 412s and I want to be convenient. I want my little box of tricks that's going to do everything, and I give the sound man.
Yeah.
You're just, is it just important to you are you using both 4x12s on stage, are you?
Yeah.
And that's the vibe, right? You just want some air moving and...
Yeah, I just want to keep it just how it's supposed to be, just a rock, just amps and because when we were kids, we just dreamed of plugging into some big amps and playing, and I still love that, But I guess, you can use a temper or anything like that, which is fine. I probably wouldn't even know the difference of the sound, but I just still like that, that thing.
Yeah, it's funny, we've done a million videos and you're right, when you're hearing playback through some little studio monitors, you're going, I don't know which is which anymore. But
yeah, you don't know.
For me, the excitement I get from a guitar sound is the realness, the volume and the power, and the fact that you're standing next to a 4x12 and a 100-watt tube amplifier.
Right.
It's not about going, can I get the same sound at a little pair? It's
But
how
you
inspired am I? Yeah, you
probably
absolutely.
can, you know, and it would probably just make it easier. But I don't know.
Your tech in the corner is going, please go over to
the guy with
using.
the hernia is like, please, please, please. But you know, it couldn't get much more simple for my tech. I mean, this is it.
So typically speaking, you're using an amp with 3 channels of gain. Are you using all 3 channels, or are you typically staying?
It's just 1 channel of gain, and then I just put on pedals for like. So that kicks it up a little bit, you know, just gives it a little bit more.
And I see you're double stacking the SD1 here. Is that a trick that you picked up somewhere along the road?
Do you know what it is? It's sometimes the power in certain places isn't right.
Okay.
So I'll kick it on for certain things, but sometimes like for like country stuff, I'll turn one this way. For the heavier stuff, I'll turn one that way. So, but it would be so much easier just to program something, or would it? I don't know. So I don't.
Yeah, I think there's pluses and minuses to both. But yeah, just it's the Waza DM delay. It's like an analog kind of delay. Do you like that kind of slightly dirtier delay with the sort of, you know, the way the notes kind of
it's kind of
fade
like
out?
Yes. That kind of thing.
And then just a regular chorus and a reverb pedal.
I think Fred. Yeah. I think the amp went out.
You think the amp went out?
Oh no! It's the curse of the Andertons video.
Oh no.
Got a bit of bass slapping going on there as well.
Yeah.
Is that like a Mark King inspired level 42 thing, or just?
I think it's a funkadelic kind of inspired thing.
I kind of feel like, and I'm as guilty as the next guy, of feeling like, oh, boss, that's like a yesteryear thing. There's way more cool pedal brands now. And look at all these cool little boutique builders, and they paint their cool graphics on. And you just forget that, I mean, I think an SD1 is like $49. It's like, it's just, you just don't need.
And they never break. It's like stepping on a rock or something. And the only reason I get new ones is because they get chipped up. But other than that, they never die. They never die. It's so weird.
You realize you've just jinxed your own show now. That's it.
Yeah, right.
The board's going down.
Yeah. Yeah,
who'd have thought a 5150 was going to sound like that for a kind of country league? It's just amazing.
It's just, that's what I was saying. It's, you know, it's that kind of, it's that sound you can get. It doesn't matter what amp it is, you know?
Are you putting any of this stuff out at a show, or is it?
Yeah.
So you do. So your audience is going to get the full. Could be anything like super industrial, heavy stuff through to 50s country licks, and
I think that's why people come out, because it's such an amalgamation of different styles of music. It's just, it's because it's so weird. You never know what you're going to get, you know. So you could get some Western swing. You know, that kind of stuff. It's really fun. It's a cool show.
Let's finish up. Take it to the other extreme. Let's get some naughty sound on here, and we'll finish up with that. But I'm just going to say, I really, really appreciate you taking the time this afternoon to see us. It's an honor to meet you. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's crazy levels of playing, man, and I shall certainly be listening to a lot more of your stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go.
John 5!
Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Perfect.